Hi everyone, this is Daria from Mesh Body Addicts, and today I'm doing a review for the Catwa Daniel Mesh Head. So I've been playing around with the Daniel Mesh Head for the past week in order to do this review, and I have to say I really quite like it, and I can tell from a lot of the feedback that I'm seeing through chat and on the blog that a lot of guys are liking it as well. So what I thought I would do is go through the HUDs, talk a little bit about the head and also about the functions, because I know for a lot of guys this will be the first Bento mesh head you get. It may even be the first mesh head you get. So I'm going to try and wrap it all up into one, which is what I've been doing lately. So first, let's start with basics. When you get the mesh head, you will have all of this sort of stuff within your folder. Okay, so we have a shape, and this is a start shape that comes with the head. I'm not using it at the moment. I've made my own shape, which is what Dario is wearing here. I am using their brow shape though. You'll want to put the head on now, and there are two. So if you're using Aesthetic or Neramith, use the Neramith neck version of the head because their neck is a bit wider. If you're using any other type of body, just use the default neck. So we have an animations HUD, so we'll put that on, and that's this little doodly over here. Don't put the HUD hard reset on. That's a button, essentially. It's a big red button that you put on and press if everything just goes to crap. Nothing has gone to crap, so I'm not going to do that. Catwa HUD master. So that's the master HUD that you see over here. Now I believe I've got the latest one of that open. 106, yeah. So that's awesome. You'll also want to, if you like, you can put on these mic talk animations. They trigger with the mic NSL. So if I was to actually enable my voice in a cell, it would play. But alas, I can't be bothered working around with that right now. Put the eyes on. So attach the eyes, and remember, always go to, always right click and go to add. Oops, I'm already wearing it, can't add it. Duh. Add rather than wear, because then you'll start knocking other items off of your body. And the teeth. So that's what comes within the pack here. Okay, if you don't already have an alpha that's covering your system head, use the full avatar alpha here, or if you're using a system body, just the head and eyes alpha here. So that's putting the head on. Once we have the head on, then we need to look at what it does. So within the master HUD over here, you can see I have a variety of options for hair. This is the hair base. There are a lot of Omega hair bases, Catwa hair bases, etc. out there, which is really good. So you can choose from a lot of those. Now, Catwa's also given 3 different types or variations, I suppose, of hair base. This one's a bit of a long sort of base. Here's a little bit of a shaved and another variation of shaved. Okay, so we can choose one of those. We can also, if I open his mouth, open wide. He doesn't want to do it now. There you go. If we look at his teeth, we can give, stop it dude, what are you doing that for? Gap, we can make them uneven, we can do all sorts of things. So he's just determined to chomp. So so that's what the teeth are for. So I'll just put these teeth back on his little smiling face. Put his mouth back closed so he doesn't keep gaping. So that's the teeth. If we move into lashes, there are a lot of different lashes you can give. Oh, that's so pretty. Now with men, I prefer to, I do like to use lashes on men. A lot of male avatars don't have them. I don't know why. Maybe because it seems feminine, and certainly some of these do. But shorter variations of lashes look really good, especially if tinted down from that dark black a little bit. So I'll give him some lashes just so he doesn't look like he has no lashes and is a weird lashless freak. Here is the show and hide. Now, as with other Catwa heads, you can hide your head if you've got hair that's poking through. You can hide your brain, and deep inside here is his brain. So we can hide that if for some reason we don't want people to see our brain. I like people to know I have one, so I'll keep that. Teeth, we can hide teeth, we can hide ears, which is a really good one because I know a lot of people love to use elf ears or different ears. Now, this one, I can't even pronounce what that is. The little corner of the eye. Sometimes the little corner bit of the eye, like here, it just looks weird. So I just take it off, pretty much, but to each their own. Eyelashes, you can hide. Of course, again, I think that looks strange. Lower teeth, we can hide the inner throat. So I can either open his mouth or I can just like zoom right in. He's got a little tonsily doodly. Can hide that entirely if I want. And his tongue. So now he's got no tongue. Poor tongueless bastard. So let's put all of that back on so he's not such a weirdo. Now here is the diffuse section. So this is the part that gets a lot of people confused. What this section is designed to do is to give you customization ability for your head. So like I mentioned, with the lashes, I find the black can sometimes be a bit too overwhelming on a male avatar, or if you've got this hair base, you want it, but you don't want it to be white, obviously. So what we need to do is tint it, and we can select what we want to tint by selecting it here. So if I select hair base, and you can select front hair base and back hair base, you can select pretty much everything about the body here, which is one of the great things about Catwa. And then we need to go into the colouring. So diffuse is about colouring. Shininess is about that reflective look or that oily look that you get when you have advanced lighting on. So usually somewhere in here is where we'll find a brown. But remember, you do need to click somewhere in this space because while it's down here, all it's going to see is the various shades of black and white. So just chuck that in the middle and then find a palette that kind of looks brownish. That's getting a bit too red. Somewhere around here-ish. And then just start moving the cursor around. So the more this way you go, the lighter it gets. That way it gets darker, up it gets more coloured, it gets less coloured, and then down it gets more coloured. So if I sort of find somewhere in the middle, here we go, that looks about right, still a bit yellow. So the further up I'm going as I click, I'm taking that yellow out because it's getting less colour into it, and that's giving me the kind of colour that I want-ish. Yeah, it's looking around about right, but I just chuck a bit more red in. Bit more red. And as you can see, this can sometimes be quite time consuming. There are people who are obviously way better at this than me. I'm a just wing it kind of girl. So I'll click around until I find something that I want to stick with. And then once you have found a colour that you want to stick with though, you can save it just by clicking a little thing down here. So, oh no, I clicked the wrong part of it. Poor Dario. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. You had such a nice colour thing going on. For the love of God, press the little black bit. It's so tiny you can barely read it, but it says save. If you click the white bit, or the top part, that applies that colour. So here it will apply black, and here it will apply my little variation thereof again. Sorry, Dario, you'll have to look a bit strange for now. And that is the same for everything. So if I wanted to have an extended hairline, you can have that now, but I'm not going to play around with that too much for now. Eyebrows are usually part of the skin that you've bought, so if you do use applied eyebrows, you can use this to tint them. But eyelashes and hair base are really the ones that I tend to end up playing around with the most. So, oh, that's neon blue. God damn, Dario. You hot, bro. You hot. So, let me just zoom in on his face. Again, somewhere in the brown realms, probably more up your alley, isn't it, Dario? Yes, probably. Not really adventurous with the blue eyelashes, and again, just clicking around until you find, and I just like to find a slight off black, because it takes away from that femininity. Not that Dario is feminine at all, because he is a sexy, sexy bro. Alright, so that's how this whole section works. Again, make sure you save colours you've found that you love. It'll make it easier to click through to them later on. So, eyebrows, these are for eyebrows that are applied independently. So if I put these on right now, you'll notice I'm going to get 2 sets of eyebrows. So I'll clear that off. But if your skin has an option for no eyebrows, or if your skin has no eyebrows, this is how you can get some. Eye makeup, Dario doesn't really have any, and it's, you can buy pliers and save them in here by hitting the save button. Same with neck tattoos, blush and lipstick. Oh yeah, go goth. Now, this is an interesting thing that I think is going to throw a lot of people. I just clicked black, but his lips have only gone slightly blacker. Is he not as goth as I thought he was? Is he not embracing his goth side? Well, he is, but the problem is we now have this little slider that I think will confuse some people. So there are a few things we need to consider when we use these little appliers. One is the blend layer. The blend layer allows you to make the color you're applying or the item you're applying, be it a tattoo, whatever, darker or lighter, and it moves from blend right through to complete. So if you click along here, there we go. Sexy bitch, Dario. So again, if you move it out here, or if you have it clicked out here by default, it's just not going to look as dark as you want it to, and you'll wonder what's going on. So just jam that all the way in if you're wanting the full color, or I tend to use it a little bit actually just to define the color that I want. But Goth Dario is he's just full blown. He just wants his lippy. So blend. You can blend mask with this sort of thing. The more that you blend down, the less effect that has. The more that you blend up, you're getting right up. And then clear, obviously, gets rid of that. Now for men, a lot of different things get applied to these blush and lipstick layers. So you might have a tattoo on, or you might have scars or a bloody nose, which Dario had yesterday. And if that's the case and you can't get it off, just start clearing these layers, because although the head has a lot of makeup layers, which is one of the great things about it, sometimes you'll have trouble working out which layer it's on, and you just want to get it off. So even if you never use blush or lipstick or anything like that, you may well find that your item has applied there. So if that's the case, then just start clearing layers until it goes away. And here we have the skins. So these are the skins that are built in. So let me just save my skin there. As you click through these, you see these are the built-in skins that it comes with. They are quite nice, and some guys really like them. I'm actually wearing a skin by Lure that I absolutely love. Lure is fantastic. They include all of the different applier types. So I chose them for Dario here. So I have Cane, and I have him in Maple, I think. So if I look at, for example, the head appliers, of course you're going to come up right over there underneath everything else. You'll see I've got Akaruka, Signature, Catwa, Adam, Omega, and options for dark brow, light brow, and no brow, which is where those eyebrows that are within the HUD might come in useful for you guys to use. So that's why I'm wearing Lure. Another reason that I'm actually wearing this skin at the moment is the inclusion of all the skin appliers. So all the skin appliers come with it as well. And I'm just showing you this just to show you some of the options that are available for men, because I hear a lot that there aren't a lot of skins that men love, etc. Sometimes if you think outside the box and outside of maybe some of the more main designers, you can find some really great stuff. So here again, all of the bodies, and there's a muscle type and there's a soft type. So I've got the soft version on at the moment. And if I click this, he goes muscled, looking tough, and it's really as simple as that. So that's essentially how the main HUD version of this works. Now, it is a bento head. That means that you have flexibility in terms of editing shape. So if I can find my appearance box, you'll see that I made this custom shape for him a couple of days ago. If you guys wanted, I might whack it up on Marketplace. But he's on a pose stand, by the way, which is why you can see the back of his head rather than the front of his head on these screens. But everything from eye size through to eye opening, really anything you can think of. And the Catwa head is, I've found, really responsive to sliders, especially for men, because it's giving you a lot more variety than perhaps you have before. And yeah, I know I'm making him look like a bit of a weirdo, but that's just because I'm randomly playing with sliders. You can have pointy chins, square jaws. This head I find works best with kind of a medium jaw, so not too much to the square side, because you see he's starting to get a bit of poke out there. I'm just randomly clicking everywhere today, aren't I? So, you know, high jaw, low jaw, big neck, little neck. Jowls don't work. They never seem to work with any of the heads. I don't really know what they are, to be perfectly honest. Chin cleft as well. Although there are a lot of bones in the head, keep in mind that not all of them are now responsive to sliders, just a majority of them. So a bit of a double chin, all sorts of stuff. So you can get a lot of different looks with it. So for example, if you look at the shape it comes with, there it goes. So there's the shape that he comes with. Oops, I've got his weirding out a little bit. And just FYI, you may notice sometimes when you change shape with bento heads, it weirds out on you a little bit. If you just go to Appearance, Reset, and then Skeleton, that'll get rid of any weirdness that you might have from changing shapes. So this is the shape that it comes with. I started making my own shape. You can see I've got about 60 bazillion of them in there. And that's how I've got my sexy Dario working there. Now, quickly, because I'm yabbering on way too much, the animation side. Eyes AO, this controls whether or not the eyes are controlled by the Catwa HUD. Generally, always click yes, especially if you're using the rigged eyes. They're built to do that. You also have a selection of default lips, so settings of where your lips will sit just by default. So sort of some happy, some sadder, some pensive, some whatever. I like to keep mine closed. Eyes as well. Oh, whoops, I've got you animating down there. Eyes as well, you can set an eye mood between open and closed. If you choose eye mood, that's blinking, by the way. So if you're wondering why your avatar's not blinking, just click eye mood, this fast one here. You can go into slow-mo blinking, but then he just looks a bit stoned, unless that's what you're going for. So full face mood, these are the expressions that come with it. There is an add-on HUD now with a whole bunch of other expressions that are unisex, but for a majority of it, unless you're a photographer, I really think that you're set with what's included here, because you've got 24 expressions that do pretty much everything that you'd want them to do, and some really fun gestures for talking and all sorts of things that come with this. So it's definitely a quality mesh head for men, and it's probably going to be the head that Dario is going to stay in, I think. Although, having said that, who knows what's going to come out soon as well. So we'll keep posted on that. But I do really like it. I love the shape that I've managed to achieve with it. I've loved the way the expressions work with it, and I think it's quite easy to use. And I know that is a very relative term, but for me personally, I find it quite easy to use. So, and overall, just a really good fit with most of the bodies. So I'll leave that there for now, because I've been going on for nearly 20 minutes. You get me talking, I don't stop. So that's the Catwa head, the Daniel Catwa head. And no doubt Catwa releases a lot of updates all the time that add new features and fix glitches and all sorts of things. So the review, check it out down below. It'll probably change over time to keep up with these changes and things as they evolve. Thanks for listening, everyone. Make sure you check out the review on the blog, and I'll see you next time. Bye.